The gut isn't just where your food goes to be digested, it's one of the largest and most active immune organs in your entire body. Around 70% of your immune cells live in or around the gut, constantly negotiating peace with trillions of microbes while standing guard against pathogens. When this system works well, the gut acts as a barrier and a filter, deciding what gets absorbed and what gets rejected. But when inflammation takes hold locally, whether from poor diet, infection, stress, or chronic imbalance, it doesn't stay in the gut. It can escalate and spill outward, quietly driving systemic inflammation that contributes to diseases far beyond the digestive tract. Under normal conditions, the intestinal lining acts like a highly selective border crossing. Epithelial cells form tight junctions, a thin mucus layer protects them, and immune cells like dendritic cells, macrophages, and ILC3s monitor the microbiota, helping maintain tolerance while defending against invasion. Cytokines such as IL-22, IL-10, and TGF-beta help maintain this balance by promoting tissue repair and suppressing unnecessary inflammation. It's an immunological balancing act, performed daily, without complaint. But when that balance is disrupted, let's say from a high-fat, low-fiber diet or chronic exposure to inflammatory triggers, the lining becomes compromised. Tight junctions loosen, the mucus layer thins, and intestinal permeability increases, a condition often referred to as leaky gut. This isn't pseudoscience. It's measurable, and it allows microbial fragments like lipopolysaccharides, LPS, flagellin, and peptidoglycans to escape the gut lumen and enter the bloodstream. Once these microbial byproducts breach the barrier, the immune system shifts gears. Toll-like receptors, TLRs, on immune cells detect them and launch a defense response, complete with cytokine release, fever-like metabolic shifts, and changes in white blood cell behavior. But since there's no actual infection, this immune activity doesn't resolve. It simmers. This low-grade, chronic inflammation begins to affect distant organs and systems. In the liver, it contributes to insulin resistance and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NEFLD. In the brain, it disrupts the blood-brain barrier, alters neurotransmitter balance, and can promote depression, anxiety, and neurodegeneration. In the vascular system, it triggers endothelial dysfunction and accelerates atherosclerosis. In joints, it amplifies autoimmune activity and can aggravate conditions like rheumatoid arthritis. And in fat tissue, it encourages adipocyte dysfunction, promoting further inflammation in a vicious feedback loop. Crucially, this systemic inflammation doesn't need a raging gut infection to start. It can be sparked by something as mundane as a sustained poor diet. Diets high in saturated fats and low in prebiotic fiber change the microbiome, suppress beneficial cytokines like IL-22, and allow for the overgrowth of LPS-producing bacteria. These diets also reduce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which normally feed the gut lining and act as anti-inflammatory signals. The immune system interprets these changes as a sign of microbial imbalance or threat, even when there is none, and reacts accordingly. Think of the gut as a thermostat that controls your whole body inflammatory temperature. When it's well-regulated, everything from mood to metabolism stays in check. But once inflammation turns it up, everything else starts to overheat. Blood sugar regulation worsens, your brain fogs up, you're more prone to fatigue, your joints ache, and your chronic disease risk quietly climbs. For people with underlying health conditions, autoimmune diseases, metabolic syndrome, cardiovascular issues, gut-derived inflammation is like gasoline on an already smoldering fire. But even in healthy people, subtle shifts in gut health can precede serious systemic effects. What starts as mild bloating or a change in stool frequency can, over time, become a warning sign of something bigger happening downstream. So here's your gentle but firm warning. Your gut may be local, but its consequences are global. Ignore its subtle inflammation long enough, and your joints, brain, liver, and heart will eventually file complaints. You don't need to panic about every tummy grumble, but don't ignore the cumulative effects of gut irritation, either. Because when your intestinal immune system sounds the alarm, the rest of your body listens whether you like it or not.